Hey, welcome in everybody. Happy Wednesday to you guys. It's me, your boy Ryan, aka Clutch Sports Talk. Got another great episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the NBA, Major League Baseball, college football, NFL. Got so much in store for you guys today. So sit back and relax. This is Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Hey, welcome in to another edition of Clutch Sports Talk, man. It's been a great week of sports, a great weekend last weekend. Hey, shout out to the LA Dodgers. But before I do that, man, hey, you guys know where to find me on YouTube. I need some more subscribers. Do me a favor, go on YouTube, hit that subscribe link, hit the notifications button, get linked in, get caught up on Clutch Sports Talk, aka also Film Session as well. You can also find me on Instagram at clutch.sports.talk and anywhere else podcasts are pretty much displayed everywhere. Spotify, Anchor FM, anywhere you guys can hear a podcast, you can hear me. I appreciate that. But hey, to get the show started, man, congratulations to the LA Dodgers. They pulled it off. It's been 30 plus years. They finally were able to bring back a World Series championship to LA. I am so excited, man. I am a lifetime fan of the LA Dodgers, man. Baseball is one of my first favorite sports I ever played, and the Dodgers was always my team way back when I could remember. So congratulations to them. Dave Roberts, you finally pulled one off. You didn't make any mistakes last night. So just to talk a little bit about what happened last night. So the Dodgers were in Game 6 last night against the Tampa Bay Rays, who were game. That was a very solid team, heavily driven by analytics, and I think in the end, analytics caught up to them. But it was a pretty decent series. The Dodgers went up early. They took the first game 8-3, I believe, and then after that, it was all back and forth. Game 4 was I think last week Saturday. That was the debacle. You guys see my Instagram posts. Dave Roberts put Kenley Jensen in. He blows up the game. Some errors made by some of their better players, but they end up still managing to pull off the win. And, they're bringing back another title to LA. This is the 7th in franchise history. They haven't won one since 1988. I was 4 years old, man. Clutch Sports was 4 years old the last time the Dodgers actually won a World Series title. So, hey, I'm so stoked for them. Mookie Betts was definitely the trade of the season. I mean, we definitely used him. He came through clutch last night. He ended up hitting a home run, I believe, in the top of the ninth or bottom of the eighth, I believe, to help get that victory. But the Dodgers, man, they have what it takes to be a dynasty, I think, here in the next couple of years. I mean, they've made the World Series, I think, 3 out of the last 4 years. One of those years that we were robbed, obviously, by the Houston Astros. We all know that. But the Dodgers definitely have a star-studded lineup from top to bottom. You look at that batting lineup, it's murderer's row. I mean, you got Mookie all the way down to like the last dude, Chris Taylor, whoever bats last. But the Dodgers definitely have a great lineup, and their pitching staff. They got some guys on there, but Walker Buehler is definitely the stud. Clayton Kershaw is still a very feasible pitcher here in Major League Baseball. But Walker Buehler is the guy. Fortunately, we didn't have to use him today because they ended up clinching the series. But going into free agency, the Dodgers are going to they got some guys they're going to have to key in on. Mainly 2 guys that I think are very important. From a hitting standpoint, you got Enrique Hernandez, a.k.a. Kike Hernandez. He will be a free agent. A lot of teams will want to get him on their roster. So they're going to maybe have to shell out and fork over a lot of money to keep him. And also Justin Turner, our third baseman, who's been tremendous. Weird thing about last night, he ended up playing 8 innings, and then they pulled him because he tested positive for COVID. And then he was later on celebrating with the team. So I don't know how that worked out, but those are 2 free agent guys that the Dodgers are going to have to keep in mind. Also in the pitching rotation, Alex Wood is another guy, but Kike and Justin are 2 major components to this Dodgers team, and they don't get a lot of credit because you got guys like Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, who balled out throughout the playoffs, man. Congratulations to him. He ended up winning the World Series MVP. But the Dodgers are definitely set up in a position to be very dominant still. I mean, even though they haven't been able to win the amount of World Series you think they should have won, they almost remind me of the Braves of the 90s, making it, I think, like 3 times or 4 times and only winning once. But they definitely have the talent. They definitely have the support of the city. There's no doubt about that. But congratulations to Dodgers, Dave Roberts, that whole organization, man. Job well done. And then winning in the bubble again, being a month and playing all these extra teams. I mean, the thing that really caught my attention is they were able to battle back against the Braves in the NLCS, which in years past, I think that team would have folded. But this team this year had the mental fortitude to hang in there, battle back down 3-1, force a game 7, and win a close game 7 against the Atlanta Braves. So, but Tampa Bay, kudos to them, man. They were worthy. The big question last night, their manager pulling their pitcher Snell when he was cooking. He had some gas going. His off-speed stuff was amazing last night. And the Dodgers will tell you that they were kind of glad that they did pull him early. But the Tampa Bay Rays, if you don't know about them, they rely heavily on analytics instead of manalytics. And I think in that case, they should have stuck to their manalytics and kept their guy in there. But they went to the bullpen and they ended up losing the game. But again, congratulations to the LA Dodgers. We did it. Like I played, but I didn't play. But I've been struggling with the Dodgers for so many years, but I'm just glad that they actually ended up winning it. So moving on, we're going to go talk about a little bit about NBA today. Not so much teams per se, but the coaching, notable coaching changes that I've noticed recently. 3 of them that came to the top of my head or top of my mind was one, the Ty Lue going to the Clippers. Now he'll be taking over for Doc Rivers, who vacated the spot, and now he's moved on to Philadelphia. This is an interesting one. I feel like Ty Lue is part of the whole Doc Rivers coaching tree. So they might get a little bit of the same of what they've already gotten already. So is Ty Lue a great coach? I don't know, man. It's hard. He does have a championship, but that was with LeBron. Now, will he be able to duplicate what he did in Cleveland without a LeBron? Now he has Kawhi, and as of right now, he has PG. But and that can all change here in the next few days or so. Who knows? I mean, there's been reports that PG can be traded to the Nets. I've even seen the Pelicans as lately as today. So we don't know. The whole thing, I don't think anything's wrong with the Clippers per se. They just don't have that one leader that you need. And especially going into this whole bubble pandemic end of the season into the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard, he's a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong, but he is not a vocal leader. He is not the guy that's going to put the team on his back per se and lead and give leadership and give direction. He's a very quiet player. He just wants to come out, play basketball, and that's his thing. And some other teammates may resent that, and especially with him with the load management. I read reports that Ty Lue is not he's not going to be into that. He's not looking forward to having to tell Kawhi Leonard, like, hey, you know, we're not doing that load management. And a lot of players probably resented Kawhi Leonard for all that load management because, yeah, it worked out for him in the end last year because they ended up winning. But this year, I feel like that team was not as strong as it was led to believe. There was definitely chemistry issues. Kawhi Leonard had to be the vocal leader, but he's really not a vocal leader. And Paul George wanted to be that leader, but people don't respect him enough to be that leader. So there's a lot of things going on with the Clippers there. So hopefully it'll work out for them, but I really doubt it because the Lakers are still going to run LA and the Lakers will still run the West. The other notable coaching change I have noted here, Stan Van Gundy to the Pelicans. So you get rid of Alvin Gentry to get Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy's not a bad coach. I will say that he does have a tendency to whine and cry a little bit to his players. Players that have played for him, like Dwight Howard, guys like that, they've been documented talking about Stan Van Gundy and his whininess and his orneriness. Is he a good X's and O's guys? I think he is, but his last coaching stint was in Detroit, which, you know, no one really wants to coach the Pistons, really. And no one even wants to play in Detroit, not even the players, unfortunately. Sorry for my Detroit people out there. But Stan Van Gundy, it's not very exciting to me. I feel like it's just going to be – he's just another retread coach that's out there. And the NBA is very, very notorious for hiring the same guys over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So I'm not – is it going to work with him? Because the Pelicans are roughly a very young team. You still got Lonzo – going into, I believe this is his 3rd or 4th year, if I'm not mistaken. Ingram, he won most improved player of the year. Obviously, you got Zion, who was an up and coming star. Will he fit in Stan Van Gundy's offense? I don't know. I don't know if they have the right personnel for his type of scheme. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The other notable coaching change, which happened a month or two ago, Steve Nash came out of the blue and he was able to finagle that job with the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving and KD. A lot of question marks there. Really, the two question marks. Well, one question mark is health. And I say health. I mean in regards to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving has not shown he's been able to stay healthy for a full season in quite some time now. He seems like he's always hurt. And then KD, now he's coming off that Achilles. Will he be the same player? Will that Achilles hold up now as they progress into next season? And Steve Nash is a first-year coach. Now, does he garner? Yes, he garners respect as a player. He's, a two-time MVP, great player. Everyone respects his game. But will he be a coach? I don't know. I mean, he's added Amari Stoudemire to his coaching staff. We'll have to see. I think that team will succeed as long as Kyrie and KD remain healthy. And it has nothing to do with Steve Nash, unfortunately, because the Nets, they made the playoffs. They got swept, but they still made the playoffs without their best two players on the roster. So the Nets will definitely be one of the top two teams in the East, at least top two, maybe three, as long as they stay healthy, because the health is the key word, because you got players like Kyrie who can't stay healthy and KD coming off a very major injury, the same injury that pretty much led to Kobe's downfall in the end. God rest in peace, KB. But yeah, that Achilles, man, it's no joke, and we're gonna have to see. But Steve Nash, I'm not so down on that pick because for the coaching job, because he's new. It's no one we haven't seen before. It's always the same guys, man. You got Tom Thibodeau. He's always getting a job somewhere. Tyronn Lue is always in the mix. Doc Rivers, obviously, he's another retread, So there's all these guys that are like in this coaching queue. And when a job is available, they're just step right up. So I feel like kudos for the Brooklyn Nets taking a splash. Will it work? And who knows? It may not, And as an organization, if it doesn't work out, don't be afraid to just can it and move on to the next person. Because the sports industry scene is so fluid that one day you can be really sorry, and then the next day you get the right people in place. Boom, you're instantly a contender. So kudos to the Nets. But those were the coaching changes for the NBA that kind of caught my attention that I want to talk to you guys about today. Let me guys know what you think on that, what I said about that. So anyway, we're done with the NBA. Moving on to college football. For those of you who don't know, college football has been being played for quite some time now, a few weeks now. The SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, they've all started the push to play, and they've been doing so. Now, some games are being canceled. Why? Because players are testing positive, and not even just players, coaches are testing positive for COVID. Games are being rescheduled. Some are even being canceled. I don't know. But what I'm here to talk about is this. Now, the Big Ten just started last week, and I believe the Pac-12 is not this week, if not the next week. Mountain West started this past weekend as well. But here's the thing. We have a playoff system in place right now for 4 teams, if I'm not correct, right? 4 teams. People want more. And I'm thinking, I think 4 is enough. I mean, people want 8, people want 16. And I'm like, why? Why do we need that many teams? Because let's just be real. Okay. College football has a problem. And if you've been following me, Clutch Sports Talk from some time now, I've done a podcast on why college football is in trouble. So I'm not going to go through that right now. Go back in through my playlist. It's all in there. It's a good listen, real good stuff. Listen to it. But what I will say is college football is very, very, there's no irony in football. There's no flavor. It's all the same. Clemson and Alabama are by far the 2 best teams in college football today. That's it, by far. You can't tell me anything else. And if you want to, please hit me up. Please challenge me right now in my comments on Instagram or here on YouTube and tell me that Clemson and Alabama are not the best 2 teams in college football. Now, Ohio State probably the third best team. But after that, it's a big drop off. Now, there are some other good, solid teams. I'm not going to say the rest of the teams all together suck, but Clemson and Alabama are by far head over heels the 2 best teams in college football. And the problem with this is that college football now is becoming very demographic to the Southeast area. Okay. Now, USC was the last team west of the Mississippi to even win a national championship, to win it, not be in the game, because Oregon obviously made the game a few years ago with Marcus Mariota, where they got destroyed by Ezekiel Elliott and Cardale Jones in the national championship. But USC was the last team west of the Mississippi to win a national championship. And other than Oregon, there really hasn't been other teams on the western side of the country to even like compete for a national championship. So, the fact of the matter is that we know that every year now it's going to be Clemson and Alabama are going to be in the running. Now it's going to be after that, who's next? Like I said, Ohio State is really good. They have great talent on offense, but they lost a lot on defense last year. A lot, and two main players they lost last year was Jeff Okudah and Chase Young, the defensive end for the Washington football team now. Those guys are gone. Now, will they be able to compete with Clemson? No, man. Clemson is just rolling through everybody. They returned all of their players last year from the national championship team. Alabama basically is reloaded. I mean, they got a new quarterback in there, and he's playing pretty good. Mac Jones, I think his name is. He's playing pretty good. Alabama, they're doing Alabama and Clemson type things. So, and that's definitely a problem for college football because now only certain parts of the country really care about it. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care about college football that much anymore because I have no dog in the fight. USC is my team. I pretty much root for any Pac-12 team that's in a position like Oregon, like last year. And Oregon has probably been the only team that can compete with some SEC teams, and we've shown that. They've shown that. But other than that, you look at the Pac-12 or the Mountain West or these other conferences on the West Coast, like they're not competing with anybody in the Southeastern Conference for the most part. Now, the Southeastern Conference, besides Alabama, is pretty. I wouldn't say sketchy. There are solid teams like Florida's of the world, Auburn, maybe Georgia. But you look at Georgia the other day. They got whooped by Alabama in the second half of that game. So Georgia isn't where they want to be. But definitely, college football has a problem. I'm not sure how you address it. Because the fact of the matter is that, these teams from the not even from the ACC, Clemson mainly, they are getting all the talent from all over the country, from the Western states to the Midwestern states, everywhere. You look at teams like Texas, who, we all know Texas is a hotbed for football, and University of Texas is not good at all. And they haven't been good since Vince Young won that national championship against my beloved Trojans. So, but like I said, if you disagree with me, let me know. I'd be more than happy to debate you in my comments, but anywhere other than that, we're just going to keep it pushing. So college football, Clemson, Alabama, they can play these other games if they want to, because I don't mind betting on them, but let's just don't even have a 4-man playoff. Let's just go straight to Alabama and Clemson, because that's basically what we're leading up to here anyway. So yeah. So, okay. Moving on. Last topic of the day is the NFL. We're in week 8 already. I can't believe we are in week 8, man. It's pretty crazy that the season is blowing by us so fast. A couple things that have jumped out to me that I kind of want to talk about, and things that I'm, and not necessarily teams, but just situations and scenarios that like what we know now going into week 8. There's certain things now that they are what they are, and they're not going to pretty much change unless something drastically changes. So the first thing I want to talk about is Tom Brady, man. He's good. He's good. I didn't doubt that he wasn't not going to be good, but he picked the right team to go to. It's obvious now why he chose Tampa Bay. They have one of the best defenses. They got some great offensive weaponry. They just added Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. Goodwin, Evans, OJ Howard. What are the other tight ends they got? Gronkowski. Good coaching. So Tom Brady's looking really good right now, and the New England Patriots are not looking really good, and I'll get to that in just a second. But Tom Brady, man, for the most part, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the best team in the NFC, period. Hands down. Like, the NFC is a good conference, but they have really good teams. But I feel like if you really have to think about it, Tampa Bay probably has everything that you need to check those boxes to put them at the top of the forefront of the NFC. Now, there are some other solid teams. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying other teams suck, but Tampa Bay definitely has everything going for them. The other thing I want to talk about is Seattle Seahawks, not particularly them as a team overall, but they rely on Russell Wilson way too much. Just way too much. He's still my MVP right now going into the week 8. But if you watch that Sunday night game against Arizona, they were up by 10 with, I don't know, 3 minutes left in the game, and their defense can't stop anybody. Now, I thought the Cowboys' defense was bad. Seattle's defense is pretty bad, too. The only difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks is they have a guy named Russell Wilson. That's it. Their defense is like 32nd in pretty much every category, especially passing, rushing. They don't sack the quarterback. Now, they made a deal today to to trade for Carlos Dunlop from the Cincinnati Bengals. So they do get a much needed pass rusher, but they still rely heavily, way too much on Russell Wilson. And that's going to be their downfall in the end. I think that's what their downfall is every year, is that when you get into the playoffs, you play other teams that are really good and are decent, and they're able to kind of slow you down. And then you put everything on Russell Wilson, and he's not perfect. No one's perfect, and they end up relying on him way too much. Now, you look at Patrick Mahomes, is they don't have to rely on him every game. Now they have a running game now, but he has other guys that he can go to win games for him. And Russell Wilson, I mean, obviously he has Tyler Lockett, he has DK Metcalf, but he's the quarterback. He's got to make most of the plays in crucial points of the game. Now he threw 3 picks the other night, which didn't help. Why? Because they're going to him every single play. So it is what it is. The other topic is the 49ers. I'm guilty. I left them for dead. I ain't gonna lie, man. After they got destroyed at home by the Dolphins, I thought they were done. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't looking good, but they had key injuries at running back, quarterback. They were missing some receivers. Now they're getting healthier. They won their last 2 games. They beat the Rams on a Monday night. They went down to Foxborough last week, Sunday, and shellacked the Patriots like 33-6 or something like that. So the Niners, now I won't say they're Super Bowl contenders, but they definitely are a good team. Their schemes are well. Their defense are still really good. They do have a lot of offensive talent. Brandon Ayuk, the kid they drafted out of Arizona State, is showing to be a really good draft pick. George Kittle is still there. As long as he stays healthy and Garoppolo stays healthy as well, that's big. That's big for them. So we'll just have to wait and see on the Niners. But like I said, they're not Super Bowl contenders, but they are definitely a solid team. And I was wrong. I thought they were done for the season, but they're able to turn it around. Let's see. The Steelers. Steelers are legit. The Steelers are legit. Now, they pulled out the game against Tennessee. They have another big game this week against Baltimore. I'm not sure if that game's on the road or not, but even so, this team is built to win a Super Bowl. They run the ball decently. They get after the quarterback like nobody else does right now in the NFL. I mean, nobody. Their back end, secondary, they're nobodies with the exception of Minkah Fitzpatrick, but they play solid football. Their offense is rolling. Ben Roethlisberger, he's not the same dude anymore, but he doesn't have to be. He's got weapons to throw. He's got Juju. He's got James Washington. He's got Chase Claypool now. I mean, the Pittsburgh, so they're well coached. Mike Tomlin has gotten a bad rap for some years now, not being a really good coach, but he's been there a while now. He gets the respect of his locker room. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a no nonsense type of dude. And it's showing that when they're healthy, they're a really, really good team. I think they're the best team in the AFC. Well, one of the best teams in the AFC. I would be interested to see them, how they match up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they win this Sunday against Baltimore anyway, but I'll give you guys my picks on Sunday on my Sunday pregame show. The last note, Cam Newton, man, now we're seeing why. It's a reason why Cam Newton did not get a lot of offers from many teams. Now, he started off pretty decently. They won one game, and I think they went to Seattle the next week. Then they lost a close game there, which they probably could have won. Stopped at the goal line, and they beat the Raiders. But after he got COVID and he came back, it's not clicking. They had a bad loss to Denver, followed by another week where they get beat up at home against the 49ers. He is struggling to throw the ball. And to his credit, he doesn't have a lot of talent to go to. I mean, they don't really have a true number 1 wide receiver. They got a committee of running backs. They're missing players. A lot of their players opted out to play this season. So it's not all on him, but there's a reason why people weren't banging on the doors to have Cam Newton come and start for their football team. You're seeing it. He can't throw the ball. And in this league, you play quarterback, you're going to have to throw the ball at some point, but not to sound like a dick, but I had my reservations, and I wasn't mad that he got the contract what he got, because he's coming off several injuries. He hadn't really been a really great thrower since his MVP year. I mean, things can change. Who knows? But I really doubt it. The Patriots are not going to be they're not going to have a winning record, I don't think, this season, unless they turn some major things around, and they got to do it quickly because we're already halfway through the season. And like I said, this segment was all about you are what you are at this point now. It's 8 weeks, right? 8 weeks, right? So that would be for you guys 8 weeks, right? They are what they are, but I mean, that's it, man. But anyway, that's my time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please continue to follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and that notifications link. Get you caught up on everything Clutch Sports Talk related, whether it's my podcast or my film session, which I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on that, guys. So please continue to watch that and also support me. You can also hit me up on Instagram at clutch.sports.talk. You can follow me anywhere and listen to my podcast anywhere podcasts are displayed, like Anchor FM, like I said before, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere, man. You can find me. I am there. I always appreciate your guys' love and support. I wouldn't do this without you guys. You guys are everything. I love doing this for you guys. But hey, like I said, I got to run. That's my time. Like I always say, man, this is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work's done. Peace, guys.